feel like I'm in such an odd between space of things. I feel like my past and my future are all like intermingling, like a bowl of spaghetti noodles. Some are wrapped up in each other, some are in knots, some are just next to each other. Like all these different timelines of spaces in my life. I'm thinking about the dinosaurs in my life too, which is a funny thing, but it's more like the places, the things that I have experienced, like the dinosaurs, as in the things that exist but that are so out of place because they are so ancient and that they don't fit into this world anymore. And it's funny because I keep thinking about kids' movies lately for a number of reasons, and there's one that keeps coming to my mind, that one, Beauty and the Beast. It's one of the very last scenes that keeps coming to me where it's like that beast tried hard to like refine himself, to remember to be human and humble and appreciative and gentle. And they got to that point to where he let her go because her so much that he couldn't demand that she stay just to save him, just to stay and love me. Like that he knew that was wrong, so he let her go. And in her own errors, in her own attempt to stand up for him, she ended up bringing a mob down on top of him, you know, and he just stood there and let it come. He just let it come. And he wasn't going to do anything until he realized that Belle actually did love him, because he didn't feel lovable enough that she would choose him over everyone else. And he didn't feel like it was fair to make her choose him over her family and everything else. And he assumed when the mob came that she sent it, that really she'd just been faking, that love was just a trick, that it never really existed. And then he saw her. He saw that she did love him, and this was in the middle of his fight with Gaston, and he wasn't even trying to fight. I whoop his butt until he realized that Belle was there, that she was trying to get there the whole time, trying to get to him. She didn't send the mob. That she was trying to come and warn him about the mob, and to confess that yes, she did trigger the mob, but she did not send it. She did not want that. That's not what she was hoping, to prove her father wasn't insane, to prove that she wasn't insane, and to prove that he was a safe beast. And then he thought that he had won and had been humble and like restrained himself. He didn't kill Gaston, and he came back to Belle, and he remembered that kindness and that gentleness. And then Gaston shot him. And he did die right there, but it was in that moment that Belle cried over him, that it broke the magic. His 21st birthday, and the last rose petal fell. And because she was already in love with him, like, it didn't require a kiss. It didn't even require the tear necessarily, but the tear was I don't know, it was the eagle flying overhead. It was the thing that just, like, maybe there was even a part of her in herself that wasn't sure that she could love him. I mean, think about the songs it went through. She had just as much of a time coming to terms with the fact that she did love him, but Belle never had the same, I guess, conditioning. I guess because of the way that she grew up, maybe. And that she read so many books, maybe she didn't have the same objections that everyone else had to loving a beast. And because she cried, the spell was broken, and not only was the beast alive again, but he was human. And I keep thinking about that space in that movie. And I keep thinking about you. And how you seem to love me no matter what I do. No matter how beastly I can get. There's times, feminine, that I've even tried to be a beast to you. More so because I was in that space of being like, nobody should have to love me. Nobody really loves me anyways. It's just I guess I convinced myself you just didn't have experience, or that you were too young, or you didn't grow up like I did, and so you didn't know the ways of the world, and that eventually you would experience it and you'd be like everybody else. Everybody who always uses me and leaves me with the mess to clean up too. But I realized, because I've been through so many, I want to say I thought that I'd hit rock bottom, and then it's like it just kept going. There was another rock bottom and another rock bottom and another rock bottom, until I realized that every time I hit what I thought was rock bottom, I gave up, and then it got worse, and I realized that rock bottom is a deep well, and it can keep going. And in the past, what I was used to, what I was conditioned with, was that when things got like that, you either complained about it or you gave up. Sometimes you might get mad and like change relationships or change jobs or change location, but those are pretty much it. You bitch and you moan about everything bad that's happened to you, and then you prepare for the worst in all the future scenarios, or you think about not existing. But there's just something about, like, I feel like, I don't know which moment it was exactly, even, like, but I just feel like there was a moment where, I don't know, you were you, and it just, I don't know, it kicked up a pitchfork and torch riot within me, within the people around me, the karmics, within people around you. It just did. And I thought that you sent it. I thought it was something connected with you, as in, like, you sent this, gaggle of people with pitchforks and torches to tear me down. But then I feel like right in that moment when I thought it was going to happen, and I thought that it was you who had sent it, and I was just like, you know what, this fits. Like, I am a beast. This is how I deserve to be treated. Look how I have acted. Look how I've treated you. Look how I've treated other people. Look at the important obligations in my life that I've neglected for superficial obligations. Look at how immature I have been. This is how I deserve to be treated, especially by her. It's about time she gave up on me. And then, feminine, I saw you. And I heard you. In my dreams, on the radio, on social medias, in my head, in my daydreams, from the children, the newspapers, even from the karmics. I heard your voice. I heard you, and I knew that you loved me. And it was like, by that time, it felt like by the time that I realized that it was too late. The gun was already pointed at me, and it was already done. Like, the mob had already decided what it was going to do to me. And even it felt like it was a point in time to fight to get back to you, to fight with you, just to fight, to say, you know what, somebody fucking loves me, and that matters. And that filled me up with so much. I can't even tell you how much that filled me up. Somebody could love a beast like me. And there was a space in me that was like, that's the other movie I've been thinking about, Aladdin. That song, Friend Like Me. When, like, the genie's trying to convince Aladdin that it's like Aladdin's acting like he don't know, like, what? Oh, you're a genie. I bet you can't even do, like, anything special. And he, like, tricks the genie into showing off, showing that he's uber powerful, that, like, okay, so I can't and won't, like, make someone fall in love with you, and I won't bring someone back from the dead, but I can do this and 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 this. And I feel like there's a part of me that was like, that's what it feels like the karmic was. And that's what the karmics had, like all the karmics later. Oh, well, you got a friend like me, and I can do this for you and that for you, or I do this or that for you, or I did that for you, this kind of thing. And it feels like that felt like a bad thing. Like it was always a trick. Like magic's a trick, love's a trick, wishes are tricks. There's always some string attached. Like in that show Once, like that it always comes with a price. But then in that moment when I knew that you loved me, that you really, really loved me still, and that it felt like you're saying you always would, and there was never ever going to be anything or anyone or any time, distance, or dimension that was going to change that. That even you had tested yourself and found that that was still true. I wanted to be like that genie. I wanted to be like, I felt like that. I wanted to be your friend. I wanted to know what it felt like to be your friend. You've had such a focus too, I've noticed, on being rather chaste. And what's funny is for a long time I don't know, I thought a lot of things, a lot of selfish things, a lot of beastly things. I made it all about me, but in negative ways or obsessive ways. And I realized, no, you were just enjoying friendship, and that people enjoy your friendship, that you're not needy about it, that you're a good friend, and that you can have them come in and let them go as they desire to flow. That you could walk around in matching socks or mismatched socks. Like you're so, it's like you're so incredible and so legendary, but it's all in the simplest of ways, and yet it's not simple either. And I know it because I know you. And in that, but it's like back to the Beauty and the Beast scene. It's like I realized that, and I was like, you know what? This is my chance. This is my chance to show my feminine that I can be that friend. I can do that, and I can enjoy her friendship like other people have, like I deserve to too, because you are a fantastic friend. And then I got shot. And it's like that song, was it shot through the heart and you're so vain, you give love a bad name. Like I got shot and people blamed you. And because I was in such a low state, I believed them. And then by that time, it felt like it was too late anyways. I was already dying. It's like the better get to living or better get to dying, except the dying part was happening. It may have been a somewhat slow process because it was largely emotional, but it's like I didn't get the choice at that point. Other people made the choice for me. And I feel like that's been a theme in my life. Everybody else has always made the decision for me. And I used to blame them for doing that. I used to say, you made me do that. You told me to do that. But you know what I realize is that I didn't have to listen. I didn't have to do what they told me. I didn't have to think about it the way they told me to. There are so many infinite other ways to think about it or say it or feel about it. Something that your existence has taught me. But by then, what do you do? What do you do when you feel like, you're the Ten of Swords? Like, you can't get up, you're pinned to the ground. It's done. But then it's like something magical happened. And I mean, I'm imagining myself as the beast laying there, like, dying dead. Like it's done. Surrender has happened. And then suddenly I'm reborn. Like, I mean, that scene in the movie, you watch his, like, lifeless body come up in the magic and then transform to human and then suddenly be awake. Like, that's what it feels like for me. Like, I've lived my life, all my life, feeling like a beast. And it's the only way that I knew. Be beast to other people. Other people are beasts to me. Nobody really listened to me anyway, so I didn't listen to them. But then suddenly, I was alive, and more alive than ever before, and I got what I wanted. Somebody truly loved me as the beast before I transformed into the prince, the king. I guess maybe as I started as a prince and then became a beast and then became a king. And then And then there was Belle. There was you. You know, you were still there, and you were looking at me, and you were amazed at me, at my human features, my beautiful eyes, my hair, what I looked like as a human. And it feels like I'm in that space, sort of, but like there's also still that, I don't know, I feel like we could just go right to that last scene in Beauty and the Beast. Like we could go into the celebration and the wedding and all that, but you know what I really want? I want to be that I want to be Genie in that space in Aladdin where it's like I know that you are calling to me to show off at what I can do and all the best of me and to show off my magic. I don't know. I feel like because the genie definitely got tricked in that moment into showing off, like how powerful are you? What can you really do? And then he did. He's like, you've never known a friend like me, and he's like being bratty, and he's like having fun, and then he realized he was tricked, and it's like I feel like you already did that trick part to me, which is funny because so many people tried to convince me that you were tricking me, and then the one time you really actually trick me, it turns out to be like you're the genie and you're saying like, or like it's like I'm the genie and you were Aladdin and you didn't have much but you knew how people's minds worked, and it's like you tricked me into showing off my power. You tricked me into setting my boundaries. You tricked me into being honest with myself. You tricked me into looking for fun and sweetness and innocence, but it really was never a trick. It was just that I did that stuff because I was worried about a trick. It's like you tricked me with my own fear of being tricked. And now, like, I want to be in a similar but different space where it's like all my life I've been in a rush to get somewhere that I can't even describe and nobody can describe it to me. And I don't want to be in a rush now. I want to be your friend, and I feel like though that those old chapters of me as the beast, like it's still there, and there's a part of me that's like, could you really want a friend like me? Like really? Like look at my life. Look at where it's ended up. So far you're the only person who has any faith in me about anything. And but then there's that other part of me that's like, you know what though, look at what she's shown me that I can show myself, that I can do. Maybe I am pretty amazing and I'm just not very good at recognizing it in myself. And then I just think about the fun of it. Like, there's so much of me that wants to rush towards you and be like, see, here's money and here's food and here's this and here's that. Here's new friends, here's new adventures, here's me looking good, feeling good. But I feel like, kind of like how Aladdin acted like it wasn't all that impressive, that you're probably going to give me something similar to that, that I need to do something more significant than that. And you know what's funny? In the past, I had convinced myself and been convinced that you wanted some like incredible, huge things, that like commitment to you was like this like set of 5 mountains that I'd have to climb just to get to the other side to be able to feel like I got there and that I did it right. But what I realize is it's the simple things. And I realize from what you've communicated to me and how you've behaved with me, no matter how I've behaved with you, that what you want is my friendship. Which really, I mean, it is the basis of healthy relationships, so I get it. I guess maybe I let myself feel rejected by that for a while. That you didn't want the more, that you didn't want the rest, that maybe it was something physical about me that you just hid well. Or maybe I didn't make enough money to meet your standards as a partner. Or maybe I had too many, I don't know, I know having too many attachments to my beastly past definitely didn't help, but I realize now that no, you like friendship and you like doing things right and you're not in any rush and that you actually value my friendship. Like, I swear I've had so many epiphanies lately, Divine Feminine. Like, Like, I would have thought that going back to friendship once you've been through more was like a demotion. But it's not. It really is a promotion. And especially with you, trust me, sometimes I feel shameful about the level of amount of ways that I've tried to keep tabs on you and keep track of you without other people knowing I was doing that, and how much I've lurked on your pages and asked the universe to tell me what you're thinking or doing. And like, I see you. You're selective with your friendships, just like you are with your relationships, just like you are with your clients and your jobs, and how you raise children, how you interact with the world. You think about what you're going to do, even when you're letting yourself be spontaneous. Even when your plan is no plan, you still are very thoughtful about how you do things. And I realized that if it was anyone else, it probably would be a demotion. It'd probably be like a gentle way of saying, I want to end this whole relationship, but I'm trying not to be mean. It'd be a placation. But from you, it's a promotion. You want to be my friend. My real friend. No agendas in there. I know you want me more than that. I feel like you've helped my self-esteem so much because I know, well, like, you've made it clear you still love me in all those ways and more so. But I feel like what you're telling me, or I feel like what I'm telling myself now, and I'm listening to my emotional GPS, is that you want to be my friend so that you can experience life with me and I can experience it with you. And you know, the other thing is, feminine, I really want to know you more. I realize in all our time interacting, I've been so wrapped up in what I thought I was supposed to be doing, or the obligations I thought that I was stuck to, and what other people demanded and shouted about, that I don't know, I guess I didn't think that people really ever took the time to know one another that well. But just in you existing and being who you are and the way that you are, I've realized that there is so much more value in knowing the story of another person. And that there's so much more to you even now through our separation that I don't know about, that I want to know about. There's parts of me that feel so bad because I can remember times when you were just trying to tell me about your life in general like you would with a friend, and I took it for granted because I really didn't understand what friendship was. And now I feel like I miss that so much. Like, I feel like I can connect with you without being in communication with you or contact with you, but it's not the same. It's not the same as knowing your story throughout the day. It's knowing what you're thinking about the things that you're doing. As being able to just ask you, what are you thinking? Like, I feel like that's a question I never really asked you much before, and now I want to ask all the time. What are you thinking? How do you do the things that you do? Why do you do the things that you do? How did you learn how to do that? How did you know these things? How did you know these things about me? How did you find a place of faith so strong that it could carry you through the mob and to get to me, to cry over me, to help me be rebirthed? What are the things that you know? What is it, like that song, Tell Me All Your Thoughts on God? Because I really want to meet her. You know, the funny thing is, I feel like through this experience, you being you and me being my beastly self, that I have met God, I've met spirit, I've met deities. But I want to know how you know them. I want to know them through you. And what's funny is, for the first time in my life, it doesn't feel like something I need to know. It just feels like something I want to know. Because I want to do better with my life. I want to feel better. I want to look better. When I interact with other people, including you, I want it to be stuff that makes me feel proud of who I am and what they have to say or ask. And it reminds me of something that you said to me at least a handful of times. That in order to build healthy new habits, you have to have a reason that is bigger than your fears and objections. Bigger than your conditioning, bigger than the obligations. You have to choose it. You have to want it that bad. feminine, I want it. And I feel like for the first time, I want it for me. Like even if I get through this tunnel of poo that I gotta climb through Shawshank Redemption style, that even if I get to the other end and I wash off with my soap and I go and there's not even any money where I left it, which means that you are not there. Like, I feel like you're going to be. You always are. Somehow you always are. The perfect time and the perfect place. But I feel like I'm finally in a place where I've learned to love myself enough and to know that, like, if you exist in the world and I exist in the world, and that someone like me could be loved by someone like you no matter what, that I'll be fine, that it won't be the end, that it's a new beginning, and that I will love it even more. Not to the detriment of what I had before, but to the growth of it. Like, I guess what I'm saying is I want to do it for me. And I want to be able to tell you that I'm doing it for me and see how proud of me you are, because feminine, I've always just wanted to make you feel proud of me. But now it feels like it's not a victim-y thing. It feels like I want you to feel proud of me because you had faith in me to do it, and faith in yourself to do it right. To be able to get back to the basics and then catch up to you, because it feels like you are very much ahead. You're on that other side. It feels like all I gotta do is cross over the bridge instead of try to go under it, and I could be there. Seeing you still there, smiling at me like you always are. And I want to be able to go and look at you and put my hands on your cheeks and tell you, you've never had a friend like me. And then prove it to you, even though you don't need any of that proof anymore. I hope you're ready for me, feminine. I don't even know what way I'm going to rebirth into your life. I just know it's going to be amazing.